This is the story of the first all-mass timber acute care hospital in North America. Imagine constructing with cleaner building materials using much less concrete, reducing the embodied energy in the building, including less steel, and sequestering carbon in a beautiful, warm, and natural structure using mass timber for all patient, staff, and service areas of the hospital. If we consider the Hippocratic Oath, a foundational ethical code for physicians originating in ancient Greece and attributed to Hippocrates, the oath emphasizes treating the sick to the best of one's ability. First, do no harm, focusing on humanity, patient welfare, and ethical conduct. Then why is it that we continue to build our hospitals out of some of the heaviest and most polluting materials? This is also the story of the Prince Edward County Memorial Hospital, represented by this quilt block called the Points of Care. The quilt's colors each have a distinctive meaning. Blue is a symbol for protection. Green, the symbol for growth. White is intended to represent the power of body and mind. Brown being the symbol for the earth. Yellow is for health in body and mind. And black, as the diamond, is protection. This form represents the community and embodies the aspirations of the new hospital design. This resilient community was founded on an agrarian history where hewn timber was used to build the barns that dot the landscape in the county. Important buildings in the community, such as the Crystal Palace, adjacent to the hospital site, also included wood throughout. The community began an effort to open their first healthcare facility in 1919, originally a 9-bed hospital with an operating room in the George Alcorn House on Hill Street in Picton. Having grown to a 58-bed hospital, it was moved to its present location in 1959 as an updated state-of-the-art building designed in the international style, a new way of expressing efficiency, sterility, and order, a key message in mid-century healthcare design in Canada and beyond. Located in the town of Picton, in the province of Ontario, this project is a stone's throw from the shore of the Bay of Quinte in the northeast corner of Lake Ontario. The existing building will be replaced by a new all-mass timber hospital at the rear of the site, and the existing facility will be demolished to make way for landscaping and parking. My name is Jason-Emery, the lead architect for the project with HDR. Let me take you on a journey to meet those that helped build the project and learn a little bit about its design along the way. So, if I understand correctly, look across behind us a little bit.
Yeah.
There'll be a plate like this on the side of it being another beam or scroll again, instead of sitting on it, framed through it.
Yes. So for the base plates that are sitting down, it from what I can tell, it is sitting flat on it. But these are bent, moving in the direction.
Black spruce makes up the predominant species of wood used in the project and is harvested through trees cut of small diameter in the Chibougamau, Quebec region, producing strips as small as 1.2 inches. The project includes an inpatient unit, emergency department, imaging, procedures, and clinics on level 1, and mechanical, administration, and dialysis on level 2. The 100,000 square foot project is organized starting from the beacon, a main entrance pavilion including a wood and glass double height space. A central corridor aligned on both levels 1 and 2 links the beacon to a 2-story patient hall further into the mass of the building adjacent to the public courtyard. A segregated staff courtyard is located on the other side of the plan. So what's going on here with this column, this element then?
Well, the column itself sits on, obviously, the base plate with a knife edge, with a vertical knife edge connection in the center. So when the column gets dropped in place, you slot at the bottom. It basically keeps it from moving in any direction. Now once that sandpiece these metal pins are driven through knife edge plates, which essentially done locks in the column.
In order to build a sustainable hospital with heating and cooling derived from a geothermal system and an all-mass timber structure, among other firsts, the team had to overcome two key challenges. We had to clarify that the mass timber is a very safe material to use in terms of fire safety due to its natural ability to char to protect itself during a fire. We also separated the overall hospital with a firewall into 3 zones, themselves considered as separate buildings in the building code. And we had to demonstrate that mass timber, when detailed correctly, can be as effective as dealing with infection control as typical drywall and paint and plastic materials used throughout healthcare today. Just imagine your preference for a cutting board at home. Is it plastic or is it wood? So an interesting contrast here is the assembly that you see around me of mass timber and the amount of individuals taken to do the formwork on the concrete just behind us. So there's about 5 to 6 individuals that are working on that formwork. They've been working on that formwork for about 2 weeks. In the amount of time that they did that, this entire floor was assembled by 3 individuals with 1 crane. No dirt, no mess, a very sustainable approach to construction, and it allows me to be here to tell you all about it within days. Perhaps the elements represented by the hospital's barn quilt's colors are beginning to emerge in the design. The protection of the solid structure, the growth represented by the trees used to create the building, and the earth as the origin of the mass timber itself.
Very impressed with how it fit together. The wood structure came quickly. Once we got organized, it came together really quickly. I'm impressed how fast CLT panel goes on.
Yeah.
I think it goes faster than deck. I was a little hesitant at first, but now I see the system. I think it's good. Nordic was an excellent vendor. Really impressed with how it come together.
So what you see here behind me are the large columns that make up the beacon at the front of the building. So we're within it looking back towards the sky. And as we pan back, you can start to see how tall this will actually be. This will actually be 2 full institutional stories high, in fact, even higher than that in terms of the feeling. And this will all be glass and open to above with a roof on top. And it will look out over the main entrance and main front of the facility. So as the team is progressing with the construction, you can start to see the penthouse emerge. This entire space will be open and completely consumed by the mechanical and the electrical services in the building proper. So this entire space, often confused for a bit of a cathedral here in the middle of Picton, is actually going to be servicing the building. The mass of the tall service space that folds down along the south to create the double-story patient and visitor hall, where the timber structure emulates the verticality of the forest the wood comes from. One of the many elements in the building where the design team reinforces the link between the materiality and detail in defining new forms of space for healthcare. The exposed timber extends beyond public spaces, a first in North America, through to nurse stations and patient corridors where typical ceiling services were designed in entirely new ways to run behind the sidewalls. And ultimately, the space where patients remain the longest. The patient room includes fully exposed mass timber with 10-foot-high windows that create an entirely new sense of comfort for those healing.
It's been an incredible project that our entire community has gotten behind.
It's amazing. When you say entire community, I've heard that they're even the smallest hard hats ever that appeared on a bunch of folks on the site recently. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're in a small town
Right.
but it's a mighty town.
Right.
And it's a town full of heart. How wonderful it is to witness the excitement through the children's eyes. It happens that the children's daycare center is directly beside the construction site.
Right.
When the construction workers and the trades people arrive on site, they arrive at the exact same time when the children are being dropped off for the daycare. And what the children do is they line up along the fence, they put their little tiny hands through the fence, and the construction workers and contractors give the children high fives every single morning through the fence. And it's
We
such a beautiful
need
experience.
more builders and more architects in this world, by the way.
We do. And I think we're not just building a hospital, we're building a community.
If you could summarize this whole project or the attitude of this whole project in one word, what would that be?
Courage,
Wow. And what?
because everybody told us it couldn't be done.
Right.
We had a community that had a vision. We had an architect who was willing to say, you know what, let me take those ideas away and see if I can make it work. And then we had a whole series of people who just kept pushing because nobody thought we could do it.
I mean, it goes without saying that in order to make that ceiling look as nice as it does, literally it's clean with almost no servicing, there's been a lot of work under this gravel that nobody's going to get to see. It's going to disappear, but
that's been the bulk
I think
of
the
it, yeah.
drama of this job has been under this gravel, pretty sure.
That's it. I think we've been we're 13 months into it now.
Yeah.
The structure went up over top of this, but I bet you we put about 8 months into everything below slab.
Exactly.
To get ready and get the rest of the structure up. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, like 2/3 of the time spent on the entire project so far is underneath our feet. And the stuff that everyone sees that thinks it takes time is actually the fastest part of the job.
Yeah.
The next time we show you, we're going to have some interior partitions. The building will be closed in, and we'll be getting pretty serious in terms of the actual function of the building. But for now, it was really about getting the structure up, the infrastructure in, and things closed up.
that's it. So in the next couple of months, it should be looking more like a building instead of just wood up at the moment. But yeah.
That's right. Right on. Well, thanks, Vic.
No worries.
Right on.